Good morning. It is day 19 of our prayer journal as we talk through the pain, as we walk through our healing. It is a way for us to connect to God in the midst of our pain. Every day I take a certain topic, whether it is emotional, mental, spiritual, relational, financial, and just kind of talk about it and see what the Lord is going to reveal through different pains that I've had throughout my life, whether they are current or in the past, just to give a way of seeing how these can manifest in your life. And then you could take this journal and go through one area of pain and kind of walk it all the way through and see where you're at the end of 30 days. So today on the 19th, we will be discussing emotional pain. And I wanted to talk today specifically about disappointment, because we all have felt disappointment in our lives, even if the situation is very different. I feel like we can all relate on the level of I have been disappointed, whether it's disappointed on Christmas Day or disappointment because we didn't get a job, or disappointment that our relationship has ended, or disappointment that we seem to keep going around the same mountain and not learning whatever lessons that the Lord is having for us. It can be anything like that. Well, I wrote in the prompt how this pain is affecting me. I'm disappointed, and I don't know how to bounce back. And then how I'd like God to heal me is just to be okay in your presence, God. That you are sovereign and maybe working something out for me in the future, or sparing me for something in the future. So just kind of that trust and peace that He is sovereign and understands. And I feel like it's a life lesson to be able to bounce back from disappointment. I think it's something that as children we have to learn, and as we progressively grow, disappointments of course can get greater than, let's say, we didn't get a certain gift that we had asked Santa for. But in all of it, how we process that disappointment is important. And if we take it to the Lord, He offers healing. So in how I see God in the midst of my pain, I look at what I do have and all I can be grateful for. You know, there is a Chinese proverb I wanted to read you if you hadn't heard it already. I'm grabbing my phone. I've used this as an illustration in a message before. And it is a story about a Chinese farmer. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you. A farmer and his son had a beloved horse who helped the family earn a living. One day the horse ran away, and the neighbors exclaimed, "Your horse ran away, what terrible luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not." A few days later, the horse returned home, leading a few wild horses back to the farm as well. And then the neighbors shouted out, "Your horse has returned and brought several horses home with him. What great luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not." Later that week, the farmer's son was trying to break one of the horses, and she threw him to the ground, breaking his leg. The neighbor cried, "Your son broke his leg. What terrible luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not." A few weeks later, soldiers from the National Army marched through town, recruiting all boys for the army. They did not take the farmer's son because he had a broken leg. The neighbor shouted, "Your boy is spared. What tremendous luck." To which the farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not." So in each of those, we could see how one thing turned into another. And sometimes what we may perceive as a blessing ends up down the road maybe not quite being what we had thought it would be. So I remember this testimony I'd given for a women's meeting. It was like the first time I really had spoken and truly gave kind of a message. And it was a couple nights before I was giving the talk, and the Lord had this dream that came upon me at night, and it was this dream that I had lost all of my memory. And then I woke up and had to discover what it was that I had in my life. And as I was discovering the different things that I had in my life, I was not discovering what I did not have. So what I did have was breath in my lungs. I had parents, I had siblings, I had a home to go to, I had a car, I had a husband, he had children, I had clothes, I had a place to live, I had a vehicle. Like, I had all of these things, and I wasn't concerned about what I did not have. So I feel like disappointment can trip us up, and we need to turn those thoughts, those emotions over to the Lord and allow Him to reveal something to us. And so in that revelation of that dream for me, what was revealed is, though, let's just take this one issue, though I did not have a child of my own, I have all these other wonderful blessings in my life. So don't lose sight of what you do have, I guess, is the moral of this talk today, because the Lord has a lot for you. And I believe that you will find healing. So be blessed, and I'll talk to you next time.